Canvas Introduction, Empowering K12 Teachers for Success. So what we're going to go over, understanding Canvas, getting started with Canvas, organizing content, engaging students through Canvas, and then advanced tips and best practices. So here is just a quick introduction of Canvas, which is Canvas is an LMS, a learning management system that has completely revolutionized the way education is delivered in classrooms. And I'm sure many of you are aware that higher ed has been using Canvas LMS for quite some time, and it's just kind of taking off in the K-12 space thanks to the pandemic. But it serves as a comprehensive platform that allows teachers to manage their courses, engage student in a multiple of dynamic ways, and streamlines administrative tasks. So here are a few reasons why you should use Canvas in your classroom. So first, centralized course management. So you can organize and deliver content, assignments, assessments, communication, all in one place. Because I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like there are so many applications that we have been, we have so many professional developments as educators, and we're taught new different places to go. And sometimes it's really hard for our students to navigate as well. So having it all in one place is awesome to do. Then engaging learning environment. So it's an intuitive interface and has lots of features to enhance student engagement through multimedia, discussions, collaborative activities, and such. You can streamline your communication. So you don't have to email outside of the platform if you wish, don't want to. You can do all of your communication through Canvas. So announcements, discussions, messaging for not just the teacher and student, but also student to student interactions that are, of course, you can, as an admin, they have access to that. So it's all very much like appropriate. Then efficient assessments and feedback. Simplified assessments with electronic assignments using like rubrics, quizzes, exams. All of this is really beneficial for you because it's a time saver. All right. And so it saves you time with having to grade everything, carrying papers back and forth, and of course, providing students with timely feedback. All right. So let's get into understanding Canvas. So what is Canvas? We kind of went over that, but it is a learning management system or an online course. With Canvas, you can organize and deliver course content assignments and assessments in one central hub. With so many option tools, it can be time consuming. And that's the biggest issue, especially for us K-12 teachers, is we have so many jobs already. And so how can we utilize this and invest some time to save us overall? So key features, we have course dashboard, activity tracking. You can view absolutely everything that your student looks at and engages with in Canvas. Alerts and notifications, audio and video recording, calendar management, collaboration tools, gradebook, speed grader, student-led lessons, or essentially a self-paced course. Now, I can't touch on all of those features today, but I will be doing some of them. So benefits of Canvas overall: saves you time, okay? So Canvas can be it is a huge investment. It does take some time to learn, but once you have created a year's worth of content, which may take you, to create little by little at a time, the following years are extremely easy for you because all you have to do is copy the course and alter as you move on through the years. Okay, so now we're going to get into some steps, which is getting started with Canvas. So the first thing is setting up your Canvas account. All right. When you log into Canvas, the first page you're going to see, which I have presented on this side here, is the dashboard. All of your favorite courses will be presented on the dashboard. Okay. So meaning right now, this is the only course I favorited, but I have tons of courses in the background. So you have, Your district too will normally have like different sections established, past enrollments, maybe past courses, future enrollments, workrooms, current courses, etc. The only course I have starred, and you have access to favorite whichever course you want, is this demo class that we're going to kind of work around in today. All right. Now, going back to your dashboard, we see our favorited course. Now we can customize our settings by going to this, what we call this bar here is the global navigation bar, because it never goes away. It's global, right? So we're going to go to account, and you'll see all of these different options. The most important for you is notifications, profile, files, and shared content. So when you are setting up your Canvas account for notifications, we'll click here, and I'm going to minimize my course navigation here, is choose how often you would like to be notified about grades, late submissions, announcements, and so much more. So if you want to be notified immediately, you can change that to the bell. If you want to be notified daily, you pick the little calendar with the day. Weekly summary is the full calendar. And then if you don't want to be notified at all because you're tired of receiving notifications like the majority of us are, you can just turn it off completely. And while this is awesome for you, the educator, for your entire account, you can customize this also per class. So if there's like a current course that you want more information on, you can alter it. And then also teaching your students how to set up their notifications. So maybe, you know, they receive an immediate notification for something that's graded, you know, you can actually walk them through this as well to help them out. And then what this does is it sends to your email account all of that information and summaries. All right, so that's notifications. Within files, this is a similar setup to like your Google Drive. Okay, so each class, these are actually, but underneath where it says my files here, all of these files are the entire content of each course that I've built. And so that includes images, that includes PDF documents, etc. And so if you already have a lot of content that you've created from years past, it might be really nice to just try to upload it directly into your course to save you time on having to find files outside of your Canvas course, right? And I would say if you are a Google user or even a Microsoft user, the best file for worksheets, if you want to make your life a little bit easier, is altering some things as PDFs, just because then Canvas has a tool that I'll show you later called Student Annotation Assignment that allows you to set up an assignment, a PDF document, and students can draw all over it. They can type all over it. It's awesome. I'll show you that a little bit later, but that is mainly files. So you just have, you know, upload, and you can upload anywhere from your computer. You can add files. It's a great organization. Okay, so back to account, we're going to move to shared content. So a lot of the times I hear from educators that, you know, especially from, I have a Google background as well. So I hear it's so hard to make copies, or it's hard to, you know, share content. Well, Canvas actually has a send to feature, and you actually can send content to yourself. I have tried this. It does work. But when you see this option, and I'll show you where you can find it in just a second, you can send and share content to another educator. And so usually this is limited based on your school district. So people essentially that you work with. Within that instance, it's not like you could share it, let's say, with a private email account that's outside of your district. It won't work that way, but you will go to shared content to view, and then you'll see nothing's been shared with me, but on here, this example, I have the option to either preview it, so I don't have to download it right away. I can actually view it. Then I can decide if I want to import it and which class to import it to, or I can completely remove it because I decided that it's not really useful to me. So where do we access that type, the send to button? That is in our modules. So like, or our course content. So right here, the 3 dots, the lovely 3 dots, you can see, you can either send, I can send this entire module to a teacher, and I'll show you, we'll do it right now. I'll put in my email. There we go. And then, oh, is it not? It should load. Come on. Internet. There we go. There I am. Send. It is sending. Content shared successfully. It'll give you that notification. And then I should, once it's like processed, which might take a minute. Let's see. There it is. See? So now I have the content here and I have those actions to preview it, which it'll show me a preview, which there we go. There's the demo assignment module. And then I can import it or remove it. And today I'm going to remove it because I already have it. Okay. Next, we're going to move on just to navigating the interface, essentially. So again, we kind of already talked about the global navigation bar. We have our course cards. Now, if you're not able to view, like if you're like, I see something different on my dashboard, you're just viewing it in a different mode or feature. So you can come over here and change it from, it might be in the list view, recent activity view. And then there's also this thing called a course overlay, and that is more so related to like the colors. So if you have an image, you can actually click this and it'll get rid of that course color overlay. Let's do, there we go. Sorry, someone else wants to join. Yay. All right. So yes, and then once we click on here, this is our course, and then what is right here is we call the course navigation bar. And we're going to actually edit this right now. So when we go to our course settings here, you're going to go to the navigation tab. And you can alter your navigation. So you have the ability as a teacher to create essentially the pathways for your students. So what I've done here is when I don't want something, so let's say I don't really want them to have access to quizzes, which is just another place for them to click on quizzes and then go view their quizzes, right? Let's just say it's just too much for my students at the age range that they're at. I want them to have less steps. We would click and drag that down and release it and then save. So now when I go into my homepage, and I still have access as the teacher to view all of the tools here. But what's nice for students when you go into student view is they only have access to these things, right? Because they, of course, I love to call it the black hole of Canvas. They can get lost as students depending on the age that they're at. So customizing your navigation for your grade level is extremely important. So for secondary, if you want to have quizzes as an option for them to go view all of their quizzes, or maybe you include assignments, you can create more pathways for students, and then essentially they are able to navigate the course in the way that they see fit. For primary, less pathways should be established so students don't get lost. So like limiting it to really like 3 at most, I think is best. I've even seen some people just do 2, where they have the homepage and then the modules, which is fine. So it's really dependent on where do you want your students to go? What do you want them to have access to within your Canvas course? All right, so with that, we're going to talk about customizing your course, or really choosing your homepage. So right now, I'm going to click choose homepage. Now, normally because my window is shorter, it's at the bottom, but normally this is on the right side of your Canvas page. So when you click this, it's going to say choose, sorry about that. Choose your course homepage. Right now, I have chosen course modules because I have not created much content within this demo course, right? And so you don't have to have the most common way in K-12 education homepages is a page with all those frilly buttons and color. They are really nice, right? They look really engaging. Students like them, but you don't have to do that. You can actually just have your course modules be your homepage if you like. I did this for the first 3 years that I used Canvas. And it was fine because it kind of acted as a linear agenda, something that they had to work through, right? And I could even organize my modules by week. So it made a lot of sense that way. You can also do what is most higher education courses, and if you're a high school teacher, I would suggest this as well, is a syllabus. So with the syllabus, this includes assignments at the bottom. So we have here are my 2 assignments that I've made. They're going to be at the bottom of the page. And then all of my content for the course, like the information, can be at the top. Now, this might not be so great if you're just starting out because as you can see, I don't have any due dates for these assignments. So it's kind of silly to for students to look at this trying to plan ahead and look at all the requirements of the course. But it's just another option. You don't have to use a page if you don't want to. Another homepage style is a course activity stream. So I'm going to click this. So this is the teacher side. So we have an announcement, we have notifications, and then as a student, I think it's not much it's not much different, but they can click show more. They can go to the exact announcement. They can click the notification, show more, the assignment notifications, and they can see what assignments they have coming up. So it just shows all the activity that's recent in the course, just another option. And then they can even exit out of let's say, oh, I already saw this announcement. They can click it, X, and it goes away. And then, so we'll leave the student view here. And the last one for choosing your homepage is an assignment list. And all of this is just this is more so for the teacher view, but the student view, they can look at undated assignments, or if I scroll down here real quick for the assignment list, it'll show overdue. So meaning you missed this assignment, right? Or upcoming assignments. Now they can look by date or show by the type. So if you have, my school district, we had categories of summative and formative assignments. If the student wants to be able to look at the summative assignments that maybe they need to redo, this might not be a bad option for you and for the course for them to navigate that. So yeah, so we have, again, course activity stream shows most recent course activity, whether that be announcements, messages, student assignment notifications like a grade. You have the module set up. It says assignment list, but it does act like a list, but it's modules. So they can review everything and see what they're required to do. You have the assignment list, which shows the assignments, and then of course the syllabus. And also with the syllabus, which isn't really featured or showing up on my Canvas course right now, is they have the calendar and then the weights are also listed so they can see the categories of assignment grading. All right, so now organizing course content comes next, which I don't know why I've seen so many teachers just use pages, and creating modules and organizing materials within modules is a must. Now, why? Because this is clear organization and easy navigation for students. The ability to group related content together is also a plus. And this is where you should be building your content. If you're going into other sections like assignments and you're starting to build here, that's fine. But the nice thing about building in a module is that you are like working your way through your curriculum. Okay. And like making it linear. So to create a module, you just go up to the blue plus button, you give it a name of any kind, right? So how you organize your content is completely up to you. You can do it by standard. I've seen that a lot with ELA educators doing it by standard. You can do it by a week or a date. So what I've done before is let's just, change this to instead week 1, and you have like the dates of what week 1 is. Then you can even add titles, text headers, and do Monday, right? This is all the content, everything under Monday. That's what you're doing for Monday. I did that for a few years and it was nice. Now what I mostly do is by lesson, because I like to think of modules as like chapters or sections in a textbook. And depending on the student, they might be at a different pace. And so they may not all finish at the same time, right? And so doing it by lesson has worked out for me, but it may not work out for you. It's just dependent on your teaching style, right? Which is why Canvas is so wonderful, is you can customize it to your liking, right? And so then once you've established kind of your organization, you've provided your module a title, then you can go, again, I showed this to you, to your plus button, and just continue to add whatever content that is necessary. You can add an assignment, a quiz, a file, a page, discussion, a text header, which we just did, the external URL, and the external tool. Those are things that you can use, but they are kind of finicky. So I try to kind of like not really go into those too much. External URL is essentially just they click on it, it takes them to a website. An external tool is like apps. And with apps, using it this format, it just doesn't really work. So pay no attention to that portion, just mostly assignments, quizzes, file, page, and discussion. Okay, so now the easiest assignment to make, which I mentioned earlier with PDF documents, is a student annotation assignment. So you're going to click to do this. You're going to click, obviously we did the plus button already. Then you're going to click add assignment, and then you can either click create assignment and provide that name, or right now what I'm just going to do, because I already kind of have one established, is select student annotation assignment. Add item, and then I can either click and drag it, to the other module. I can move it around is what I want to show. But then we've created a shell or a blank assignment that appeared in this module. We're going to click on that assignment, and there's nothing here, right? But we're going to edit it. So moving on, this is what we call, so I'm going to minimize my course navigation bar here so it's a little bit bigger. And this is what we call the RCE for short, or the Rich Content Editor. And this is essentially a text box with a bunch of formatting tools for us to use. What I like to include in the text box here is all the directions, essentially. Okay, so that means like, what do I want my students to do? I want them to open up the document. I want them to complete the document. I want them to submit the document. That's usually what is included in this text box, and how you format it is up to you. You have all of these tools. So right here, this is just essentially the menu to access the most common functions. You have text formatting menu, so font sizes, paragraph, bold, italicized, underlined, colors, highlighter tools. You also do have a subscript, a subscript and a superscript. So math, you can even insert equations if you're a math person. Links, this is to insert links, images, are here, upload image, media recordings. That doesn't have to be just video. That can also be audio, files, so documents. And then this is where you would have this plug is for apps, applications, external tools. And then you can even click on the 3 dots here, or sometimes if your window is all the way across your screen, the 3 dots don't even show up. You have more formatting for paragraphs. You can insert tables. There is the equation tool. And then to embed a code, let's say you want to include a YouTube video. You can copy the code and place it right in here. So just some basic features for now. But let's move on. So I'm just going to write for right now, directions, and place that just like that. That's all I'm going to do right now for time's sake. And here's the last steps, okay? Point value. Let's just do 5 for now. We can change this. So that's another way. So you can create groups. So like I said, maybe I want it to be a summative assignment, right? So I just created a group, and I can go into assignments and change the weights there. Then we are going to do, this is the most important part, is the submission type. We're going to choose online, and then we're going to choose student annotation. Now I can either go into my course files, and I just inputted this lovely presentation on the side here. And so I've chosen from there, or I can, delete this and upload a file from my document. It is really up to you. But again, this is why PDFs are really great, is to be able to use that. Okay, now I see someone raise their hand. If you want to write your question in the chat, I will go back to this later, okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is click Save. PDF document. We have our directions listed here, and we cannot, as teachers, view the PDF from here. You have to make sure it's published as a test and go into your student view. Oh, it's in an unpublished module. So let me, rookie mistake. Let me leave real quick and publish this module. And then we will do student view. There we go. So now I'm able, as a student, and you can do this too, present it this way in student view for your students. I can now access, and I'll make this full screen real quick, my document, which I can add text to. So we can write, I need to change the color of the font to black so it's visible. And you can even make the font size larger. So we can write, we can highlight, we can add, so like this is like for commenting, leave a comment here. We can draw all over the document if we'd like to. We can add shapes. So maybe, and you as a teacher too, in the speed grader have all these tools. So you can even like use these in the speed grader as well. Okay, so that is, and I'm just going to hit escape, and then the students would click submit when they are finished, and they get confetti. Woohoo! And that is the most basic assignment in Canvas. Okay, so now we're on section 4, which is engaging students through Canvas LMS. All right, so let me leave the student view, and we're going to talk about announcements and communication tools. So announcements are great. The student automatically gets notified, not just in Canvas, but it also will send them a notification email. So it's a simple, like using the rich content editor again, you can like put your title up here and then add your content. So I can even do like today's assignments. Or if I used to use this all the time when I was out sick, right? So like this is the sub assignment essentially, or this is what you are to be doing while, your teacher is gone. And then you'd put all of the instructions right here. You can add files, like attachment files, and then you can even delay the post. So meaning like you can do this ahead of time and then schedule when these announcements go out. So I can just bring up the calendar here and say, I want it to go out tomorrow. And then you can add the time. Let's say at 8 a.m. So then 00, done. And so this announcement, which is a smiley face, will not be available to students until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., which is nice. And then you can even go back to announcements and view all of them, past, future, and current announcements right here. Now, for more engaging assignments, so we do have, as we saw before, so that's just a way to engage students through communication. Here is a collaborative assignment you can use, which is different from a assignment. Discussion boards are a great creative feature or tool that you can use. So I'm just going to put discussion 1, right? This is kind of acts almost like Facebook. That's how I like to, or in Instagram, right? You have your information, right? All of your directions are here, directions in the rich content editor, as per usual, right? Then you can see here, this can be for a grade or it can not be for a grade. So it's important to make sure that you click graded if you would like to add points to this, which I almost every time will do, because if it's not worth a grade, my students are not going to do it, which is just a sad reality. And then you can, of course, allow liking. I like to add this just because with allowing liking, it just kind of gives them that social media feel for students, and I don't know, and then allow threaded replies as well. So then we're going to click save. And for students, they get to create their own posts. Now they can do this multiple of ways. So you can do posters where they create, let's say, a digital image, and they can go right over here to that imaging tool and upload their image directly here and then post it. So here, let me just do an example. So here is another image that I have. It's loaded, and then I can click post reply, or I can even add a description, a caption for my image, and then students can reply to this. You can require them to reply to so many students and say, you know, what do you like about their poster? Or maybe you're an art teacher and they take a picture of their artwork. And from there, they have to comment about, you know, some sort of the composition or whatever. There's endless possibilities with discussion boards, and I feel like they are not used as much as they should be. It's a great collaborative tool, and you can also do group discussions as well, which that is just how you set that up is within, see, this is a group discussion. And you give a group name and you can assign all of the different groups yourself or auto-generate them as well. Okay, moving on. And then I'm going to open it up for questions and answering, and I'll go back if I need to go back at any point, okay? So advanced tips. So the thing that I don't think a ton of educators know is that there is integrating applications. So you can go into your settings and go to apps, and there are all of these resources available to you. Okay. Now, some of them are free. Some of them do require a school or, you know, a district subscription. So some of the free ones would be like Google Cloud, K12, Canva. Some of the ones that you have to purchase a subscription to would be like Nearpod, Learn 360, I think is still a subscription, Amplify, Apex Learning, and so on. So with this, it integrates right into Canvas. So for example, if I just typed in like Nearpod, even though this is a purchased one, all I have to do is click add the app, and then in my settings, there will be a consumer key and a shared secret. It's basically a code that syncs the two together so that you can use Nearpod in Canvas. So just a really cool thing, cool feature. I really love Google Cloud, which again is free. And to find Google Cloud, so we just type it, or it's really Google Apps. You click this, and to find the consumer key and shared secret, you can literally Google it and it will generate like you go to, I think it's honestly like the first link, and it will say, click here for consumer key and shared secret. And it will have your whichever, make sure, of course, you're logged into your school email if that's what you prefer. And it'll sync your Google account with Canvas, which I love because I'm a Google Canvas user. Okay, now what if though the app you want to use, or maybe even the website, is not available in the library of apps that Canvas has? You can actually add your own using what's called a redirect tool. Okay, so the redirect tool is right here. You can add the app, but when you click it, instead of having a consumer key and a shared secret, those syncing codes, you instead get to customize this so it can be a website of some kind that maybe you want to use. Maybe you sync Blookit or Gimkit into your Canvas course. So you could add that name here, and then it can force, you can either have it force a new tab open, so separate from Canvas, or it can open within like a Canvas page. And then you do want to select show in your course navigation if you would like to have it. So let's just do, I'm going to do my website, Canvas Queen. And then you can do www.thecanvasqueen.com, add app, and then the app was added successfully. It may take a couple times to, nope, it took one refresh, woohoo, to add it here. I can, of course, in my navigation, I can pull it up closer to the top if I want to. And it should, there we go, it's at the top. And then when I click it, it will have me go to the site that I want. So just another thing you can do to make kind of everything integrated into Canvas so your students are not going all over the internet. Okay, last thing, and then I will extend my time here as well, but time-saving tips. The biggest time-saving tip is to create a module template. And I already have some. So if you want to go into what's called Commons, it's located right here. You can type in Canvas Queen into the search engine. And I have 3 template courses. I'm showing 2 currently right now. And what they are is essentially blank, but filled in with directions or a template direction for you to fill in. So it's not so time consuming to have to restart the creation process. You create one template, and then you can come over to the side here. Oops, hold on. Come to the side and click duplicate. Duplicate is a button that does not always appear because in your assignments, because if you're already have like files attached to it, or especially external tools, which would be like an application like Nearpod, or let's say a Google or Microsoft documents of some kind, duplicating will not appear because it just doesn't sync up that way. So having a wonderful module that if I click on it, you'll see like, what are we going to learn? With the standard, you have your like objectives, to-do list, turn in assignments, all of this kind of stuff. And then for secondary, it's a little different. So we have before the learning of new context takes place, evaluate your prior knowledge. This is just kind of like a template I created, but you can, of course, add whatever you're going to use very commonly. So you're not rewriting and recreating over and over and over again. All right, that is it. So now I'm going to thank you guys for listening.